Okay guys, last time we left off with this screen right here. If you guys remember, we were making our second house, which is a 1 bedroom, 1 bath. As you can see, we still have a little bit of rough spots all around the place. If we zoom in, we can actually see that there's a bunch of little lines that are not supposed to be there anymore because we didn't really trim them out the right way. So what we're going to do next, we're actually going to start making this look a little bit better. We're starting with the right side over here. All we're going to do is just click on it and press delete. Click and delete. Click and delete. And we keep doing these for the small ones that we weren't able to cut away. As you can see, these two in the bottom corner are still part of the long line. So for this one, for these two, sorry, we're actually gonna have to trim them out. So we use trim, enter, we highlight, and we press enter, kind of like how we did yesterday. And then we're gonna trim out the small little lines. So anytime you have the long lines together, that it's not just the small little cuts like this one right here, we are going to have to use the trim function once again. So let's zoom in here to get the small one right here and press delete, click, delete. These are connected to the long line, so we're going to have to use the command for trim, trim, enter. We're going to highlight, press enter, and then we're going to trim out the specific spots until we have the shapes right there. So let's zoom out. Let's see what else we're missing. We're missing the corner over here. As you can see, these two little parts right there are connected to the long line, so we're gonna have to use trim, enter, highlight, enter, and then we're gonna trim them out. These two over here are also connected, so we're gonna use trim, enter, highlight, enter, and then we're gonna trim them out. Let's zoom out here. Let's see what else we have. We have these down here in the bottom. So what we're going to do is, once again, we're going to do this exact same thing we've been doing. We're going to get out of the trim, but once again, this needs a little trim because these are connected. So trim, enter, click, enter, and let's get rid of the ones in the center. Let's see, we're good there, we're good there. We're making our way up to the top over here. As you can see, we have some more lines over here that are long, 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 long. These are all long. So let's start we're going to trim all of that right now. Let's just highlight the whole thing right here. Press enter. And we're going to trim, 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 trim. And we can't trim that one yet because it's an edge. So we are now going to move in over here. And as you notice, we once again have those little parts right here. So we're going to trim this out. Oh, we can't do that. Sorry, don't do that. We're actually going to fix this up because we didn't highlight the whole thing completely. So once again, we're going to use trim, highlight this whole area right here, press enter, and then we're going to trim, trim, and trim, trim, and trim. Good. As you might have noticed, there are already some rough edges that we have not fixed yet, and that's due to certain reasons, but we will fix that in a bit. In the meantime, let's just make sure to scroll out and scroll in to the bottom over here. Here we at the bottom. So we just got to trim this out. Honestly, trimming is going to probably take the longest amount of time just because you really want to be precise with this and you want to make it look neat. Otherwise, the building is not going to be able to be as efficient as it is. So, you know, this already took like 4 minutes and 30 seconds of our time. So now if you might have noticed that there's two areas that are a little rough. And that's this one right here, as well as this one over here. To fix this, all we're going to do is we are going to grab this, click and drag up, and then escape. This will lengthen this. When we lengthen it, it will allow us to use extend. Extend, you click on what you want to extend a line to, press enter, and then click the line that you want to extend it to. And then we're done. Now all we have to do is just use a trim function, click, enter, to trim stuff out. This one's already separate, so we're done with that part. The only part we're really missing is this part over here. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing we just did before. We're going to highlight that line that we want to bring down, click, and bring it down. And you're going to press enter. Now we can extend the lines that we need to extend. So we're going to use the extend command, enter, click the line we want to extend it to, enter, and then the line that we're extending, enter. Now we have the complete hallway. Let's trim these out and we'll be done. Highlight all the objects, press enter, click, 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 and we have our building. Press escape to be done, and here we go. This is our whole shape right here. Completely cleaned out. It doesn't have doors, but we'll add those later. Next thing we have to do, and I want to make sure that we do this properly, is we're going to add dimensions. Dimensions are pretty much just the measurements that the building is actually using. So to do that, we just type in dimension, or you can type in dim if you want. And then all we're doing is we are clicking on the corners or the lines. In this case, we have a line right here. There we go. We have a line right here. Here we go. We have the big line over here. Let's bring it back. We have the big line over here. Let's bring it back. We have the big line over here. Let's bring it back. And finally, we have the line over here. These actually help us make sure that all the measurements that we have are actually correct. So let's click the inside one here. Let's click the inside one here. The inside one. Oh, my bad. Let's click on the inside one over here. The bottom one. There we go. About the same size as this one. Good. The bottom one. Good. The bottom one. Good. Let's get the side over here. Good. Let's get the side over here. Good. So if you notice here, now we should have all the dimensions pretty much lined up to how we want them to be. So now all the dimensions have actually been measured out, which is really good because this is actually going to help the architects know exactly what size it is without us having to write them down. So now we have that done. Next step was going to be for us to actually edit out all these things so we can actually have the shapes. We need shapes in order for us to turn it into a 3D model. To do so, what you're going to be doing is you're going to be using the p-edit function. We've done this before, but let's do it one more time. You type in p-edit, press enter. It's going to ask you to grab one line to connect it to. So what we're going to do is we're going to connect the outside of the walls all together into one shape. So we're going to click on one line. Let's pick this one right here, the one at the end. And we're going to press enter because it's asking you, do you want to turn it into one? Yes, I do. Press enter. What do you want to do? You want to join lines. So now you click all the lines you want to join together, including the one that you just used. So you want to click all the ones on the outside. Clicking all the lines on the outside, there should be a total of this many, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different lines. You're going to press enter, and then you press escape, and you're done. Now if you notice, they're all going to click into one shape. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to start clicking in the smaller shapes around the house. Each room should have its own shape. So we're going to p-edit, press enter. We're going to pick, let's start with this top left-hand corner. We're going to pick this line right here. Do you want to turn it into one? Yes, we do. Press enter. And what are you going to be doing? We're going to join. So you're going to click, 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 click to join that whole shape right there, and you're going to press enter. Then press escape. Now we have the shape. Let's do that one more time. P-edit, enter. Let's pick one of the walls of the room, enter. You want to turn it into one? Yes, I do, so you press enter. You want to join it. So let's join, 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 and join. Enter, escape. Now we have the next shape. I'm going to keep doing these for all of them. You guys continue doing them as well. I'm just going to do this myself to speed it up, so I'm not going to be narrating as much because you should be doing the exact same thing that you've been doing these past few times. So one problem you might run into is what I'm seeing right now is where I can't actually grab the room. There we go. It's all because of that thing right there. So what we're going to do is we're going to get rid of this dimension right here for the moment being. There we go. So let's join them up again. P-edit, selecting yes, we're joining, let's join, let's join, let's join, let's join, enter, escape. And the last shape should be this big one in the bottom. So let's get it, go back to the top view, P-edit, we're selecting this line. Yes, I do want to join it. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Press enter, escape, and now we have a shape. So now we should have all the shapes for all the different rooms. Great. That's it for this lesson. By now you should have the dimensions, everything trimmed out, and you should have all the shapes edited.